I'm going to run only 4 rounds of the experiment, just so that we still have some time for discussion and I still have a little bit of time at the end for my own research presentation. Hence, I'm calling it the modified CPR experiment. CPR stands for Common Pool Resources. I am a good scholar, so I do define concepts I study, but before we run the experiment, I do not want to impose my definition on you, so I'm going to hold off with my CPR definition until we've completed the experiment. So after the experiment, I want to have a conversation with you. I would like to have a conversation with you about what you've experienced during the experiment. What were the challenges your groups were facing in managing the commons that I have defined for you? What worked for you, what didn't work for you. So I want to have a very active, hands-on beginning of my 90 minutes. And then I'm going to continue with my own work presentation. I've essentially pulled together different research projects from over the last 8 years to illustrate some of what I see are maybe the current relevant challenges in governing the commons. So that part would be the present and the future as I see it for my talk. So that's the outline for today. Why did I decide to run the experiment? I was very impressed and very excited when I understood the motivation and the focus of this summer school. And I was wondering, how do I present that to you? And I simply borrowed Professor Dr. Lukšic's words, where he defined the summer school as, quote, communicational form where diverse minds will intertwine, where deliberation will happen, and where deepened consideration of questions which come with experiencing the world will occur. I was very excited when I saw that, because that is what I believe in. I believe in people coming together, discussing the problems, finding solutions. So if that is the purpose of the summer school, then I thought I'm going to create a very controlled experience. So I'm going to create an experiment for you, which will define the natural world for you. I will define that there's only 7 people who have to cooperate. I will define what the benefits of you withdrawing from this common pool resource are. It's a super controlled environment, but yet you're going to see that you're going to interact in this environment in very different worlds, in very different ways, even though I will define it for you very narrowly, as a good experimentalist would do. And the reason I'm doing this is so that we have a common understanding of key challenges we face in commons governance. So I'm not allowing you that some of you think about water, others think about air, others think about fish, yet others think about oil. No, I want you all to think about my world of those 4 rounds and of harvesting fish. So the way I've defined the common for you, or for us to struggle with this morning, is a fishery. Imagine that you are owning a fishing business in a bay. Do you understand the word bay? Sound, a part of a body of water that's clearly defined. I was looking for a nicely defined and easy to overfish bay. Those of you who live on the Balkans probably recognize the very clear shape of Boka Kotorska, which is a bay in Montenegro. I thought this, since it's so small and so clearly defined, and the entrance out into the open sea is so small, it's going to make it very easy for you to envision how easy it would be to overfish this little Kotorska, Boka Kotorska, or the Bay of Kotor. So that's the bay in which we are fishing this morning. Each of us has several of the fishing trawlers. A picture is for you on the screen. You will decide how many of these fishing trawlers you want. You will invest in them. You will buy them. You will buy them. I hope you brought your money. Just kidding. You don't really need money. What I will ask you to invest are tokens, in Slovene, žeton. So you don't need to have your own money. You just need to have these imaginary tokens. And this will be how you will be making your decisions. You'll be thinking your decisions in terms of tokens. How many tokens do you invest? How many fish trawlers do you want to have while you are fishing from this little bay of Kotor? The more tokens you will invest, the more fishing trawlers you will have, the more fish you will catch, the more fish you will sell, the happier your family will be. because they'll have bread on the table, maybe even shoes or sandals, and so on. So essentially, imagine yourself as relying on this fishery as a source of your revenue. This is not your sport, this is not your hobby, this is your source of revenue. If you're wondering if there is a world that still functions like this, I can show you a video from Reuters off of the beach of Normandy about a week before I sat on the plane, where Brits and French were fighting over fish. Actually not fish, scallops. So it's not an old, outdated case. It's very much nowadays off of the beach of Normandy, for example. Okay, but we're in Boga Kotorska and we're fishing. The more people you hire, the more tokens you invest, the more you'll harvest, and the more you'll be able to sell. Your key decision in this experiment is only one: how many tokens to invest. So for these 40 minutes this morning, the only thing you need to worry about is tokens. If you're a nice person, you think about other people. But tokens is what I will ask you to tell me about. Okay? Moving on. When you invest the tokens, you will receive benefits. Obviously, you'll be able to fish, you'll get fish, you'll sell it, you'll receive benefits. I have defined benefits for you on what I called, actually I did not, Lynn Ostrom and others have. I've defined them on this one sheet of paper, which is called Schedule of Benefits, and I'm sending them around. Please keep one page each, because that will tell you how much you will earn. Please take one and pass it on. This will tell you how much you will earn by investing tokens. On this Schedule of Benefits, I have listed benefits for 1 down to 60 tokens. Don't think you have to invest 60. I hope you're nowhere there. If you're at all familiar with game theory, you will know you do not want to be in that part of the table. But I'm giving you the numbers just in case you do want to invest that much. So let's think about what the benefits are. Let's think about benefits of ordering 6 tokens. Those of you who already have your tables, or those of you who can read on my screen, 6 tokens, investment of 6 tokens brings how many benefits? What amount? Those of you who already have your sheets in your hand. 6 tokens gives you how much? $4 and 4.31? Okay, I know you're not excited about $4. I'm challenging you to think about that as $4 million. But that's too big a number for me to put in the table. So if you want to, you can think about it as $4 million, or think about it $4.31. The key is you need to find the number in the Schedule of Benefits. Okay, what if you were to invest in 20 tokens? What benefit would you receive? 12, not 20. 12 tokens, what would be your benefit? $12? No, $8 and 12 cents. Think of it as 8 millions if that gets you excited, but you get a sense. That's how you're reading of how much fishing will give you. So that's one document that you will work with today, which is called the Schedule of Benefits. Everybody has the same schedule. If Professor Dr. Lukšić invests, or if Christian or Jerneja invests, they all get the same benefits if they invest the same number of tokens. There's no difference in that. You're all facing the same benefit schedule. Do you understand the logic of the table? Do you have any questions about how the table works? Self-explanatory? Is it okay if I move on? Okay. So these are your benefits. You're probably going to ask, given that you're in the business of fishing, you're probably going to ask me, how much is this going to cost me? You're thinking the right way. These tokens are going to cost you. This is imaginary cost. I'm not asking you to pony up any money for this class this morning, but you have to think about this money as if you were paying it. So what would be the cost of your tokens? The cost of tokens will be the number of tokens that you purchase, that you order, times the average cost of a token. Does that make sense? The number of tokens you invest times the price of it. The price of it will depend on what's happening in Boka Kotorska. Can anyone imagine why that would be the case? Why would the cost of fishing depend on what else is happening, who else is fishing? Can you imagine that relationship? Let's say it's only Dr. Lucic and I who are fishing in Boka Kotorska. We don't have to fight for our employees. We don't have to fight for oil supply. We don't have to fight for fish. Just the two of us. Easy world. Let's now imagine that 1, 2, 3 other people join us. Then we start being in the competition for fish. Now he and I actually have to send our crew out to fish for 15 hours, not just 10 hours, which means we have to pay them. We may have to start paying labor more, because these others are competing for the labor we're hiring. Do you understand the logic of increasing costs? Okay. So how we will compute these costs is you don't have to worry about it at all. I have asked or twisted the arm of Jerneja and Christian to help you compute that. You don't have to worry about it. They will tell you what your average cost is. You just need to understand the logic. The more everyone is investing in Boka Kotorska, the higher the costs for everyone will be. That's the only thing you need to remember. And the two of them will calculate the average costs for us. If you really want to understand the formula behind the average costs, the first token costs 1 cent, the second costs 2 cents, the third costs 3 cents. Don't worry, you don't have to add this up. The only thing that we need to know is we need to know how many tokens all of you fishing in Boka Kotorska have invested. And then we're going to use the formula, which is going to look at the first token, which is 1 cent, the last token. Let's say the group invested the total of 60 tokens. So it's going to be 1 cent plus 60 cents, because there's 60 tokens. That together is 61 cents. And you divide this by 2. Or either Jerneja and Christian will do that for you. And they will tell you what your average cost is. So then you simply multiply your average cost with the number of tokens you've invested. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay. So if your group in total orders 60 tokens, that's just the example that I gave you. And I already asked you if you had any questions, and you said no. So let me move on to the exciting part. What will be the net benefits if you're in the business? Then your net benefits are the gross benefits, which come off of your schedule, minus the costs. Does that make sense? Your total benefits minus what you have to pay to be in business. So let's say you order 6 tokens, and the other people in your group together order 24 tokens. So your whole group, 6 plus 24, 30 tokens. The average cost of the token will be 1 plus 30, that's 31 cents, divided by 2, which makes it 0.155. That's the average price of the token. And since you invested 6 of them, it's 6 tokens times 0.155, which equals to almost $1, but not quite. So $0.93. Those were your total costs. What were your benefits of investing 6 tokens? Can you look at the schedule and tell me what your benefits were? Benefits of investing 6 tokens? I'm sorry? 4.31. That's your gross benefits minus your costs, which were not quite $1, 0.93. The result is $3.38. Think of them as $1 million or $3 million. That is your net revenue. So you'll be able to put food on the table. You'll be able to put shoes on your children's feet. That's what you will calculate. What would you want as a rational human being who has to feed children and find clothes for your children? What would you like? A very small net benefit or a really large net benefit? Okay, my undergraduate degree is in economics. My thinking always is more money is better than less money. I don't know about you, but once you have a child, you definitely have to provide for that child. You can think about, oh, I'm not materialistic, I do not need an extra car, I do not need an extra boat, But when you're responsible for children, then you do need that extra dollar. So for this morning, assume we are materialistic. Would you indulge me? Assume we all want more money and we prefer more money over less money. We can relax this assumption after 90 minutes. I'm perfectly fine having that conversation. As a matter of fact, I want to have that conversation. But for the experiment alone, you want more money. You want your net benefit to be as big as possible. The way I do that in my classroom is I actually give money to my students. And some students earn $120. That's a couple of textbooks, right? So I cannot give you money. I didn't bring any money with me, or not enough. And if you're really good at this, I could go bankrupt with this size of the group. But indulge me and assume that you want as high net benefit as you can get in this particular situation. Another example. What if you order 10 tokens and others in the group 56? What would be your benefits? Can you look on the schedule and tell me what would be the benefits of you ordering 10 tokens? $6.91. What would be your cost? Well, your costs will depend on what everybody else is doing. So if you're ordering 10 and others 56, the total is 66. So then Jeremiah and Christian start calculating and say 1 plus 66 is 67 cents. They divide that by 2 and tell us that your average token price will be 0.335. Since you invested 10 tokens, you have to multiply 10 times 0.335. Your total cost, therefore, is how much? I know I can rely on him because he's on top of things, but I don't want to rely just on him. What's your total cost? You don't have a mic, so you have to speak up. $3.35. Those are your total costs. Your benefits were about, what, $6.91? Those were your benefits? Minus the costs. How much are you taking home? What's your net benefit? $3.56. Not bad. If these were millions, you'd be in good shape. Okay? Do we need another example or are we fine? We understand the logic? Gross benefit minus total cost. Okay. What if you order 2 tokens, you said you don't need another example, so I'm not giving it to you. So what do I want to accomplish this morning? I'm going to ask you to make these token decisions 4 times. All of you will be in a group. For the first 2 rounds, you will not know who the other people in your group are. You know they're there. I will tell you how much they're investing, but you don't know who they are. You have no way of finding them. You have no way of talking to them. For round 3 and 4, I will actually ask you to talk to other people in the group. And I will give you a chance to talk to them and decide the best strategy that works for your group fishing in Boka Kotorska. So first 2 rounds, no communication. Rounds 3 and 4, come together, find a solution. I dare you. Can you find an optimal outcome in 2 rounds in your groups? Let's see how quick you are. By the way, he's good with math, so you want to be in the group with him, except that you don't get to choose what group you're in, because I'm going to assign you to groups. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you everyone a sheet of paper. I think Elena and Christian, since you're going to be calculating, you're not going to be vesting, right? So you won't be fishing, but the rest of them will be fishing. If you please take one and send the others to other people. Once you get a sheet of paper, you will notice I have given you 4 token orders. This is your notes. This is the paper you keep for yourself. For me, you tell me on your phone how much you're ordering. I stayed up all night. I really hope it's working. If not, we'll have to go to paper. But if my night and enough caffeine worked, then we're all going to be online. So in order to tell me how much you're ordering, you will either need a smartphone, which will be on the internet, or you will need a laptop. Is there anybody who doesn't have one of these 2 devices? You would have one that you could lend? She can lend you, don't walk away with her phone. Anybody else who needs a phone or laptop? If you don't have it, you cannot communicate to my system how much you're ordering. Okay? Do you all know how to get online? Shall I repeat the Wi-Fi password? FDL-conf is the name of the network, and then it's UNI FDV 2008. If you could please take a minute and make sure that your phone or your laptop is online. So you will still use your paper, because I want you to write on paper what you've ordered. Otherwise you'll forget. My system online is so messy, you'll forget everything you said. That's why I'm giving you a piece of paper, and please note on your paper what you're going to invest. But you will tell me online. So the before rounds, I'll ask you that you enter your selection of the website. When you tell me that you're all online, I'm going to tell you how to get there. Once I collect all token order forms, Christian and Yolaya will help you calculate what your average token cost is. And then you calculate how much money you made in that round. Is it beginning to make sense what we're going to do? Any questions? Yeah.
Is there any specific suggestion as to what amount of tokens you want to invest in the first round, or is it just arbitrary what you want to do?
Whatever you think makes most sense for you. If your grandfather was fishing before, then you've probably learned that knowledge. If you're a first person in the fishing business, you don't have a clue. You're learning just like you are right now in this experiment. So some of them know exactly what the right number is. Some of them learn. It takes them a few seasons, and let's hope fish don't get wiped out when everybody's learning. So I know what the optimum is. I know what the Nash equilibrium is, but I'm not going to tell you. You have to learn. Yeah.
Are there any social or economic differences, or are they equally rich or possessing the same amount?
Very good questions. You guys are a tough audience. Let's assume you all have the same endowments. Let's assume that $1 million means the same to you as it means to Professor Lucic here. These are all tough assumptions. We can all relax them later. But thank you for the question. It's a very good question. We all have the same endowments. Nobody needs to take a loan to buy tokens. Everybody can get as many tokens as you want. Other questions? Okay, so let me see if my website works. Yes, and more questions? No. Thank you, sir. Do we need more? We need group 7 then? Okay, where will you enter your data? This was the best I could do last night. So if it's not perfect, it's a little awkward, if it looks a little amateurish, forgive me. That's what I could do last night with the resources I had. I have created a survey instrument. I have put it on my university website. So if you could please, with your phone or laptop, go to my website. That's the address at the top. Maybe faster will be if you simply Google me, NIVES DOLŠAK. Probably my website at University of Washington is going to be the first thing that will pop up. So when you go to my website, at the very bottom, there's a link that says PELJ 2018_DOLŠAK. Could you please get to that site? Tell me when at least half of you are there. Or when you're there, if you could raise your hand so that I ask, wow, you're fast. I need to start speaking faster. Okay. So when you're on this side, this is what you see. I've created 2 practice rounds so that you understand how my survey functions. Again, it's very rudimentary. And that is the real stuff. Okay? So why don't you do practice 1 so that you see how it works. This is what you're going to see. A screen will open, and the screen will say, please enter the number of tokens you're ordering, and then it's mean, prosim unesite število žetonov, ki jih naročate. And you can scroll down as far as 60 if you want to. When you select the number, you still have to click on that red arrow at the very bottom. Otherwise, I don't know what you've selected. So find the number, click the red arrow. Done? Okay, let me show you how I will see that. So if I go on the website, I'm going to see the report of practice 1. I see that one person invested 2 tokens, one person invested 4, one person invested 5, one person invested 6, 8 people invested 10. You guys are good at math, it seems. One person invested 13. So I will read these numbers to Christian and Jerneja, and they're going to add up all the tokens. Except that it's not going to be one big group. You'll be in groups of 7 people. So we'll have to do round 1 for group 1, round 1 for group 2, and so on. If I had more volunteers, we could run this in 7 rooms, but I don't have that, so we're going to do it this way. So you've tried practice 1. Would you please indulge me and try practice 2 again? Just to make sure that you have the system down. Question?
My answer is not there because I selected 12.
Did you hit the red arrow?
Yeah, and I have here in the history it says 12.
And you're in practice 1, not in practice 2? That's the only thing that I could envision is going wrong.
I'll try again.
Not round, just practice.
I have an issue with accessing.
You have issue with accessing? Meaning, is too many of us on the same website at the same time? That is called common pool resource. We're all accessing the same common pool resource at the same time. I was worried about that. I didn't know how Qualtrics would handle all of you on Qualtrics at the same time. Would you mind trying it again now that everybody else has done it? Are you able to access it now? No.
It says not found. Yes. When I'm trying to get it on the...
Did anybody else get not found message?
It says not found.
I'm not enough of a technical expert to tell you why your device is not finding it. Is maybe blocking that's causing it? Otherwise, would you please join the business of one of your neighbors and the 2 of you will be investing together? I have no other solution right now, technical. Practice 2, how did that go? Let's see what you did with practice 2. There's so many rounds, it's going to take me a few seconds to get to practice 2. Dolšak practice 2. Reports. A person 3, a person 5, one person 6, 2 people 7, 3 people 8, 2 people 9. You guys are not very greedy, are you? If I did this in the Department of Economics or Business, I would be looking at very different numbers. Hint, hint, culture is important. 5 people invested 10, 3 people invested 11, and so on. So the system is working? Most of you? You want to see the rest? Yeah, you're really not greedy. You're a really nice bunch. I'm going to fish with you. So, one person 23, one person 15. By the way, in the real life, you would not know that. Because there would be no regulator who would be willing to give you access to this information. And even if the regulator were willing, businesses would scream, protect our business secrets. And they're protected by law. So you have a wonderful situation right now because you have a benevolent dictator, me, who's giving you access to all the information you want. Okay? So now the real deal. And the real deal is, we've practiced one more time, so this is fine. So we're here now. Round 1, ordering tokens and computing net benefits. So now I need you to go to the group that is on your sheet of paper. I would assume each one of you has group between 1 and 7. Is that correct? Okay, so now we know what group you are. Everybody's entering round 1. Would you please enter your token order for your group, and I don't know what you are, for your group and round 1. And please write on your piece of paper so that you know and don't forget what you've entered. Anybody else still needs? Do we need to start group 8? There's 2 more. Do we need more? I was pessimistic about how many people will show up at 9 o'clock today, so I started taking my papers away, but I have more. If you have friends who want to fish this morning, I have a lot more papers. Christian, we need more? More? Is anyone having problems entering round 1 for your group? No? Then I'll start pulling out the numbers so that Naya and Christian can start adding up. Again, in the real world, no one would show you the data. But this is a nice world of academia. So, what am I looking for? Let's start with group 1, round 1. I hope these are in the right order. But it was in the middle of the night, so... Okay, here's Dolšak, group 1, round 1. Let's see if we have 7 people here. Report. You two ready with your calculators, Naya and Christian? Okay. We have 1 person at 9, so 9. 1 person at 12. 1 person at 15. 1 person at 20. 1 at 35. Are we at 7 yet or not quite? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we missing 2 people in group 1? Yeah, I just have 5 people. Is it possible that anyone in group 1 is still working on entering your data? Okay, then we'll go with these 5. Did I read all numbers to you? You have the total? Let's do that again. 9 plus 12 is 21, plus 15 is 36, plus 20, 56. This is becoming too much for my sleepy brain. 36 plus 35, are we at 71? 71? And that's it. So 71 plus 1 cent, that's 72 divided by 2. 72 divided by 2. Oh, I didn't add it up. You see, that's why I said don't rely on my adding up today. So we have a different total, and what's the average token price for group 1, round 1? I'll start pulling up group 2, round 1.
Actually, it's not 71, isn't it? 91?
Yeah, they corrected me, except that they don't have the mic. 0.46. So 46 cents. If you're in group 1, your average token cost is 46 cents. Okay. Now I have to find group 2, round 1. Oh, it's right here, isn't it? Yeah. Lucky me. Okay. Group 2, we have 1 person at 8, 2 people at 10, so that's 28 so far. 1 person at 11, 1 person at 12, 1 person at 18, 1 person at 20. Did we get 7? Oh. 1 person at 60. Do we now have 7 individuals? Should I read one more time? 60 plus 20 is 80, plus 18 is 98, plus 12, plus 11, plus 2 times 10 is 20, plus 8. What's the average cost for group 2? These guys are going to be more expensive. If nothing else, it's 7 of them, not just 5. What's their average cost? So that they can start calculating their net benefits. And now move on to group 3. $0.75 is your average token cost if you're in group 2. Thank you. Group 3, I have one person at 5, one person at 9, one person at 10, one at 20, one at 21, one at 22, and that's it. What are their average costs? 0.44. So if you're in this group, your average cost is 0.44. Was this group 3 just now? Thank you. So I need to find group 4. Group 4. Invested. I feel like the person who's tallying votes for Eurovision. Ireland. 2. I'm kidding. Sorry. I need to get serious. So one person at 2, one person at 12, one person at 15, one person at 20. Am I skipping? 20. That's it? I guess we lost some people in this group. This group has 4 people. So I have 4 investments here. One at 2 tokens, one at 12 tokens, one at 15 tokens, one at 20. What's their average token cost? 0.25. Okay. Moving on to group 5. Tell me if you see group 5 on the screen. I'm looking for group 5 round 1. Right here. Group 5 round 1. Excuse me. One person at 5, one person at 8. No, I'm sorry. 2 people at 8. So that puts it at 16 tokens. One person at 9. That's it. What's their average cost? 0.155. And these are cheap. This is a good group. I'm going to fish in this. Try again. You need me to read the numbers again? 1 at 5, 2 at 8, 1 at 9. That's it. This is group 5, right? What's the average cost for group 5? I told you it's a rudimentary system. It's super slow. I think we're just going to do fewer rounds. 0.155 is the average token cost for group 5. And I'm looking for group 6, round 1. One person at 7, one person at 8, 2 people at 10, one person at 13, one person at 22. That's it. Shall I read again? Okay. This will be the average cost for group 6 in round 1. 0.355 is the average cost of token for group 6. And I believe we have group 7 as well. We need to reorganize the groups. We have way too many groups with too few people. 7 round 1. Excuse me. One person at 8, one person at 10, one person at 11, one person at 12, one at 13, one at 15. That's it. What's their average token price? 0.35 is the average token cost for group 7 in round 1. Does everyone know how much money you made? Are your children going to be starving? Yes. Did anyone lose more money than earned? You're in red. I'm sorry. We'll find you a nicer group. Yeah, there's too greedy people, aren't there? I was planning on doing this 4 times, but because my system is so rudimentary, it takes me so long to find the token investments. So I'm going to adjust. This is called adaptive management in environmental management. And I'm going to skip to round 4. How's that? So we've practiced, we know how the logic works. Let's now get in groups. And my suggestion is, even though I've told you what group you're in, given that we have quite a few groups with very few people, I would suggest that we regroup so that we actually have groups with 7 people. Here is the picture of, here's the picture of the room where it says speaker's podium, that's me. I would like you to form groups. Given how many of us are here, I don't think we need more than 4, maximum 5 groups. Forget what's written on your piece of paper. Let's just make a group, not friends only, please. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to mix you up. Group 1, maybe, if you can make group 1 here, 7 people. Group 2, 7 people. You get the logic. That's the map here. Group 3, if I can have 7 people here. Group 4, if I can have 7 people here. Talk for 5 minutes. What would be the best strategy? She doesn't want to be in red numbers. Help her get into green. Either she's greedy and she's overinvested, or she's in a really nasty group. So you guys talk. You guys talk. You need to talk. Take 10 minutes, decide the strategy, figure out what's going on. There are some rules for discussion. I've written the rules for discussion here. I'm an institutionalist. My job is to develop rules. The rules for discussion is you cannot threaten anyone, you cannot bribe anyone. No violence and no bribing. If you are in a group that is asking you to disclose information and you're not comfortable disclosing information, simply say, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable disclosing that. Don't feel under the pressure to show your token orders to anyone. Talk. If you're not comfortable talking, be quiet. No one can force you to agree. No one can force you to even participate. There are a lot of people who quietly sit in the back of the room and never participate in any rules negotiations. A lot of my students have the sleeves sit in the back of my room often. It's perfectly fine to be that person. Take 5 minutes, decide what's the best strategy, and then choose what group you are. So you're group 1, correct? And simply put that order, no matter what you were originally. From now on, you're group 1, and you'll enter, let's say, round 2. You will be group 2, and you will all enter group 2, round 2. Whenever you decided what you want to do. You will be group 3, and you'll enter your group 3, round 2 token orders. Don't shout so much. Are you group 4? So you're all at, that's more than 7 people here. Is there a group who is 1 or 2 people short? Shall we where more people are entering Boca next time. They've just entered, they didn't buy the permit from me, but they started fishing. It happens all the time. It happened with French fishermen off the north of the beach. Brits came and started fishing. That's what just happened to your group. So all of a sudden now you have 10 people fishing instead of 7. I can tell you, no threat, no pride. I can tell you will have high costs. That's life. If you want, you can migrate. 5 minutes, decide the strategy, and then enter your token for your space. Do you need help? You're all quiet. Do you need help? You invest, she invests, you make individual group investments. But you really want to talk. Because if everyone invests 60 tokens, your average token cost will be really high. No, you can change the regulations, you can revise the rules, that's why I put you in the group, you can talk, no bribing, you are self-governing. No bribing, no threats. Otherwise do whatever you want. Everyone has their company. You guys are a big group. If you get some additional fishermen, you have high costs of fishing. That happens. Any questions? Any questions for me? Here. Group 5. So you're entering group 5 round. You have any questions for me? No? You want to pay me as a consultant? I'm cheap. Maybe call 4 minutes and then I'll ask you for questions just for more time. Then if you want to. Some gossip. I would suggest 1 minute, wrap it up. Your fish is moving out of Boca. It's going to Quarnet Bay. If you don't invest now, you're going to lose your fish. Quickly, 1 minute, put your investments. So you each knows who your group is, and you're entering round 2 token investments. Any questions? Thank you for doing this. Okay, I'm pulling up the data. Have you invested? Has group 1 invested? Who's group 1? Has group 1 invested? Are you done? Your fish is running away. Half a minute, invest. You are done. Group 4, done. Super. Group 5, done. You group 5? No, 4. Are you done? Please, done. Done? Perfect. 5, is 5 group done? Perfect. Group 6, are you done? They're still calculating. These are very careful users. Let me remind us that the fish will run away. Is group 6 done? Perfect. Okay. Christian and Björnaya, I need you. Christian and Björnaya, I need you to help me. Let me pull up the numbers. So we're doing group 1, round 2. Group 1, round 2. Group 1, round 2. Okay. Group 1, this is what you did. Oh, I have to find the report.
Round 5.
You're not done yet? Your fish is gone. Are you guys hunter or fishermen? Do you know that they move? Okay. You have 20 seconds more. Group 2 told me I should look in round 3, correct? Group 2, this is what you did. I have no idea what you agreed on, but here's your benevolent dictator sharing your data. 6 people invested 9. You are fabulous. That's it. 6 people, you are a fabulous group. And I'll tell the rest of the participants why that is the case. Your average costs are your average token costs are 0.2 0.275. 0.275. Group 3, right? Group 3, I should be looking for you in round 2, correct? I don't know what you agreed to do, but this is what you did. Wow, I'm moving back from United States to Slovenia. If this is how you govern your comments, I'm coming back. 6 of you invested 10 tokens. Is that it? Oh. Just so you know, in the real life you probably would never find out, but in the classroom you do know that one person, no, 2 people said maybe that they're going to invest 10. I don't know. 2 people invested 18 each, and 6 people. 2, 4, 6. Somebody's fishing in your bay and you don't even know it. That's what happened. And your average token cost is. This really feels like Eurovision. 0.485. 0.485. Okay? Do I owe, what other groups do I owe information to? Group 1, what round do you want? You want round 2? Let me find you. This is the last time we're going through this slow system, I promise you. Group 1, round 2. Are you ready? Now you'll see if what you promised to do really happened. Maybe some other people entered Boka Kotorska. 1 person 7, 1 person 10, 2 people 12, 6 people 15. You also have people fishing in your bay, in your bay that you don't know about. Okay, and your average cost is
3, 2.
According to this, it's 6 of them who entered 15. 2 people entered 12. 1 person entered 10.
I think at 12 is just 1 person. It can be 2 times more.
Now excuses. No, you were not able to enter it twice because my survey wouldn't allow you to go in twice. That was another person fishing. My system allows you to enter information only once for each round. Your average token cost is 0.66. They have higher cost than you guys. Noticed? You were 0.43. Who else needs information from me? 4? 4, are you round 2? Okay, group 4, round 2. What did you agree to do? Did you agree on anything? You didn't agree. Okay, here is a group with no agreement. 1 person 2, 1 person 5, 3 people 9, 1 person 13. Where's the rest of you? That's it? Nobody else fished in your group? So 1, 13, 3, 9, so that's 27, 1, 5, and 1, 2. And your average cost is 0.24. This was probably the least cost fishery, the lowest cost fishery. Are we done or we need more groups? 5? You're 5? Did you enter round 2? So keep in mind, I need one person from each group in 2 minutes to summarize your strategies. Group 5, round 2. Did you have a strategy? Did you agree on anything in the group? Do you dare telling me what the strategy was? I see it. One person 11, one person 14, one person 15, one person 18, one person 20, 122, 125. That's it. And your average cost is 0.63. You may be the most expensive fishery right now.
Second one.
Second most expensive? Do I owe any other group information? You all? Do we have group 6? We have group 6, okay. Do I need to look at round 2 for group 6? Okay. Let's see, do you think they're going to be the cheapest or the most expensive fishery? They're a pretty large group, but they were very systematic. And if I remember, they had a strategy, and if I remember correctly, their strategy was to invest all the same. Did I remember that correctly? 7 people, each entered 10. And you have no cheaters in your group. Congratulations. And your average cost of token is 0.355. You got your average cost? Okay. Who made the most money? Who made $6 in the 2 rounds? Did anyone make $6?
In both rounds?
Yeah, the 2. Okay, we have a 6. Did anyone make $8 in the 2 rounds? Right now you're the richest fisherman. Anyone made more than $8 in the 2 rounds? You made more than 8.
I made 9 if my calculations are correct.
$9. I think you're buying lunch today. Did anyone, thank you, both of you, so much. Did anyone lose money? Anyone in negative numbers? You're negative? I'm so sorry. Did you come up back positive? You've recovered. You couldn't recover. I want groups to tell me what your strategy was. I'll start with the group at the very back because they told me what their strategy was. And their strategy was all of them invest the same. Can we have another mic for them? Okay, so if your group could please tell me how come you came up with that decision? 1 minute. How did you manage to decide that all of you will invest the same?
Okay, so
Yeah.
first we talked about how much each invested in the previous round when they were individuals, and everyone invested around 10. It was between 9 and 13, and we decided to go for the common strategy, and we all invested 10. But afterwards, we made calculations, see if we would profit more if each invests 6. So for the second round, we each invested 6, and we had high profits.
Congratulations. Are you friends? Do you know one another from before? It's unbelievable how successful you were in such a short time and nobody cheated. That doesn't happen in real life if you don't know one another. You were an unbelievable fishing group. Can I move? Congratulations. Maybe this group here, could somebody tell me in a minute how you strategized? And are you happy with what happened?
So we had the first round with somebody who was so stupid who invested 60 and we were all in big debt. So we got a shock and based on the strategy of the catastrophe, we decided not to kill ourselves again. So we made calculations to see what the optimal token and we decided both around to do the same. So we went up to 9 and we optimized the profit like that.
And you all invested 9.
Yeah.
And nobody cheated.
Nobody.
You are unbelievable. Then, congratulations. And 9 is the group optimum. You did your math right. 9 is the amount of tokens where the group makes the maximum investment. So somebody did a good math optimization there. Next group, how did you decide?
We also wanted to be equal among ourselves. Basically, we created an oligarchy, because that's what happens in real life. Yeah? When you create profits, everybody is fine. So we aim for 48% return. Like 7 of us invested 10, but in real life it happened that 6 of us invested 10. One person invested 18, so one of us had a cut the whole deal. And then we had an intruder again investing 18. So we did make some money, the return is 30%, but not what we were aiming for. But still we are happy.
If this were real life, what could you do if you knew that somebody invested 18? If this were real life, what strategies would you have available?
I offered my colleague to buy her out, to merge, but she refused. That's my idea, M&A.
Okay. So that there's always some saving in merging, right? Because you can reduce costs, maybe. If you had more rounds, maybe that's what would happen. Thank you. Excellent. Your group, would you please tell me what your strategies was and what was the outcome? You have the richest person in the room, don't you? You clearly did something right.
Well, I'd say it was more of a creative destructionist environment than anything else, because we did talk among each other and we did realize that neither one of us invested more than around 10 to 11, 12. I invested 13 in both rounds. So how I was...
That's how he got the richest.
Yeah. We realized that none of us are going to cheat one another by going 20 or 30 or 60, but there was no strategy involved by coming to a round number.
So you didn't agree on how much you would invest?
Some of them did, but there wasn't a consensus.
So there was an attempt of development of rules, but there was no consensus, so in the end, the rules were not adhered to. Very real-life situation. And that's why I have the richest person in the room. I hope you do know that there is responsibility with being a rich person. Just look at Rockefeller and Carnegie. All those people were the richest people in the world at that time and invested heavily in philanthropy. So you have the responsibility. Do we have more groups? We have one more group, right? 2 more groups. What was your strategy?
Well, we went for the sustainability, so we said that we decided on 10 tokens to be the optimum amount, and then whichever token goes, whoever wants to invest more tokens, they are taxed with 10% on each additional token, and this money will go to fund the Sustainability Institute that would monitor the amount of fish in the bay, and then also advise each year on the fisheries quota. And then, well, the results were a bit weird. Apparently, they also have black markets. So next year we'll have to invest in the supervisor.
You had illegal fishing going on. That's what happened to you. Again, happens in many. Very interesting approach. If you want to do more, you have to pay the community back for fishing more. Again, very commonly done in real life. And your group, did you have a strategy? Anyone? It doesn't bite. Anyone? Come on, I just have 8 more minutes to finish my 45-minute presentation.
We had a very bad strategy.
Huh? What was it?
It was, we wanted to get more out of it for our kids. So we invested too much.
The whole group?
Yeah, but we didn't invest equally because there was no consensus.
So you did not come up with a strategy?
No.
Was it because you couldn't figure out the math?
I don't know.
You couldn't figure out the optimum investment? That is definitely the case in the way I've created the world for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You can just turn to the front now. You are done discussing strategies with your friends. Where was I going with this now? Yeah. Thank you all for experimenting with me, trying to find the solutions. I have put you in a world which was very mathematical. You just needed to figure out the optimal investment for the group. If everybody stayed at 9, that was the group optimal. Those of you who were good at math, you got it immediately. If you had a cheater in a group of 9, that cheater would have been the best off if she invested 20. You're looking at her. That was my strategy at Indiana University. Do not tell my colleagues. Everybody was 9, I was always 20, I earned money. I didn't quite fund my graduate education that way, but that would have been the strategy. If everybody else is nice and you're 20, you're maximizing your benefits, considering the costs. What you have determined, what you have seen in the groups, is what happens in real life. Some villages, some countries are able to figure out the math, they have the information, they have the knowledge, they have the epistemic community, they have a good regulator who's collecting the information, they come up with an agreement, they do it, they follow it, they enforce it, the fish survive, they economically survive. You have groups, you have democracies or autocracies who do not function, who cannot come up with the rules, who will overfish and go out of business and not be able to feed their children. So what you've experienced in these 6 groups are actually very real-life situations of governing the commons. And I just gave you 2 fishing seasons. If you had more seasons, you would have figured out the math, you would have started trusting one another, you would have actually started doing what you agreed to do. You would figure out that since you all go to the same church, you really cannot cheat, because then your children get beaten at the school. People start looking cross at you when you show up at the church because they figure out that you've been cheating. So if you live in a community where there is common interaction, you don't cheat because you know that you will face the repercussions, the consequences of the cheating. You here had no consequences. You may only see yourself, you may only meet these colleagues in this room next year at 2019 International Summer School in Political Ecology. But other than that, you have no obligations to be the nice person. And yet, many of you were the nice people. Not all. Some simply didn't have the information. Some simply figured out the math and knew how they could get the most non-existent money out of me being the experiment organizer. Okay, so I thought that we would do everything we've done in 45 minutes, and then I'm going to have 45 minutes to tell you about my other research. And I literally have 9 minutes left for what I was planning to do in 45 minutes. So I'll have to decide what I'm going to do about this. Obviously, I'm going to skip many things. Before you get too disappointed, I am going to tell you that I have my slides on my homepage, where you were accessing PE LJ 2018, which was at the bottom left. If you go to the bottom right, is my PowerPoint from today. So anything I don't get to cover, feel free to enjoy the PowerPoint. That's one thing. Another thing, at the end of my PowerPoint is what I call references. And this is the literature that I was drawing on to make my presentation for today. And everything but the last one are hyperlinked. So you can actually get to that article or to that chapter and read it. Even though I won't be able to talk about that research, you can still find it and read it. So that is the very last slide of the presentation, and I've posted my presentation on my homepage. The same homepage which you used to access my experiment. So that's it. Now I have 10 minutes left. What I would do, if I had a lot of time, let me see how far I get through this, and then whatever I don't will be left for you. I did the same experiment in the class that I taught. Here you have 2 graphs. I was teaching the class on the right-hand side. A colleague of mine, who's a professor of chemistry, was teaching this course. On the vertical axis is the number of tokens. The individual colors of lines are individual students. We ran the experiment in 6 rounds. So on the left-hand side are the chemistry, biology, physics students. See what happens in round 5 when I allowed them to communicate. What happened? They were this group, or whichever group figured out the math. This is that group. They come together, they realize 9 is the optimum, from then on they always go with 9. These are the nice natural scientists. They figure they are quantitatively strong, they figure out the math, and they're actually nice people, and they continue with that. Okay? My students, and that was a course that was entitled Cooperation, Competition, and Conflict. I was teaching it as an environmental course. Took a while, comes round 5, they figure out the optimum. And you may say, what happened after round 5? Did they start cheating? No, I wouldn't be showing you that graph because then I'd be a lousy teacher if that is what my students did. What happened in my class was, one student said, and that was the dark red student. The dark red student said, you know what, I was a little high. I know that some of you were a little low. I'm actually going to go low so that some of you can go high. That is how a social scientist governs the commons. A natural scientist sees the world as a mathematical problem, figure out 9, and stay at it. They protect the environment. They did not overfish, but they never considered equity questions. My class, when I told them about ethnic conflict, other kinds of conflict, revolution, but also cooperation, start talking about, I was a little high before, I earned a lot of money, why don't you make some money now? The reason I show you this graph to you is that I highlight for you different people think of environmental problems in a different way. A natural scientist says it's a natural resource that I have to manage optimally. And they manage it because they're managing a natural resource, not people. They're professionals, they have the information, they have the skills. Then you say, but the social scientists, they still figure out the math, but they start asking questions in a different way. I'm not saying one way or the other way is the right way. I'm just saying, keep in mind when you're governing the commons that people with different backgrounds think of the problems in a different way. And they have different goals. A natural scientist would never think about a redistribution, unless they study that for the work as a second major, right? So keep in mind when you're developing your governance rules that people have different goals for what is a successful commons management or governance. Here's my definition of what a common pool resource is, or rather Elinor Ostrom's definition. I'm not going to get into it because I have barely a few minutes to talk about my research. The Tragedy of the Commons, the work by Garrett Harding in 1968. This person was an evolutionary biologist. So how does an evolutionary biologist think about commons governance? What he says is, and he's not thinking about fishing, he's thinking about Velika Planina. Those of you who are in Slovenia know what I'm talking about. This is a pasture in the mountains where everything is held in common. And the decision is, do you bring more cows to the mountain or not? But the mountain is owned commonly. So you can overgraze it, you could kill the grass if you bring too many cows. So when Garrett Harding writes, he writes about cows, not about fish. But what he says is, adding, I think I'm going to cut this short, and he says, the conclusion reached by every rational herdsman sharing a commons, there's a tragedy, because each man is locked in a system that compels him to increase his herd. He uses the word locked, because he's a evolutionary biologist. He's thinking about humans as animals. The only thing we need to do is how to evolve and survive. When you introduce social scientists into this, Lynn Ostrom in her book in 1990s, and a lot of us afterwards, here I'm showing you a picture of the book that we all co-edited, and it's published by the National Academy of Sciences, it says, no, it's not a tragedy of the commons, it's a drama of the commons. Sometimes it's tragedy, sometimes it's comedy. And it's our job to understand which one is when and how we can move it from tragedy to comedy. For this talk, if I really did have another 40, I think we just have to make a pact that we meet again here next year so that I get to give a talk for my remaining 45 minutes. If I had the remaining 45 minutes, I would have organized my talk in the following challenges. How do you govern when you have the challenge of information? Is the information available or not? How do you govern commons where people hold different values? Men different than women, rich different than poor, educated different than non-educated. In my country, Democrats different than Republicans. In Europe, green different than social democrats. How do you govern the commons when some people perceive the system that you have as effective and others think, no, it's not effective at all? And the last challenge that I would have discussed if I had 45 minutes more would be, how do you govern commons if people have different perceptions of fairness? If I think that what you're asking me to do is not fair, that you're imposing a cost on me so that I protect your commons, that is what's happening with coal miners in the United States. They're saying, we know global climate change is happening, but you're making us to stop mining, which means we will no longer have the income. And then how do you govern a situation like this? And my suggestion is, if that is happening, you need to understand that. And you need to probably compensate those who are being hurt most. Which means that you have to develop mechanisms to generate funds to compensate. Remember this group here? They weren't talking about compensation, but they did come up with a mechanism. They were taxing everyone 10% who was, or a certain percentage, if you were investing more than a certain number of tokens. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to recognize that you may need to generate some extra money and compensate losers. So I am officially now out of time, and that's why I said if you want to see what else I would have talked about, you can see it on my PowerPoint on my website. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to chat, and I hope I see you all next year. Thank you.
Najlepša hvala, profesorici Dolšak. Vseeno preden pa se preselimo v predverje na pauzah, mogoče kakšno vprašanje? Na kratko. Vseeno dajem priložnost. Ne.
Enjoy your...
Hvala še enkrat in povabljeni na kavico.
Hvala lepa.